Guys, at this point, I think it's safe to say it. We are officially so fucking back. We are Omni-Man versus Bardock. This might just be like one, recency bias, and two, the fact that I haven't seen a new death battle for a year. But God, it just felt so good to watch it again. Let me go over some things. The analyses were pretty great. Now, they don't have the whiz and boomstick cutaways, and I assumed they wouldn't because, budget cuts. And I'm glad that with the new lessened budget, they don't focus on putting in a bunch of mediocre... What am I thinking? A bunch of mediocre in-between bits, and just focus on... One, making the editing look stellar, like they've been doing for, like, comic episodes mostly, but also with manga. And also, making the fight stellar, because the fight was stellar! I loved it, man. It was so good. The Great Ape transformation was killer. The Super Saiyan transformation... I didn't like it as much, but I still thought it was good. I think it might have just been... I think the Bardock model was a little weird with the glowy hair and the dark night, but it was still really good. And I'm just really glad Death Battle's back. I thought Bardock was going to win, and it's actually a pretty debatable battle from what I hear. At least compared to a lot of other death battles. I don't really care about the death battles for, like, debatability, but it is a nice, fun thing when it's like, I don't know who's gonna win this. Because, like, a lot of times, I know who's gonna win it. They make it... Well, one, it is already pretty obvious. Like, something like... there are a lot of them. Saitama versus Popeye. Let's take Saitama versus Popeye. No, actually, let's take Omni-Man's other battle. Omni-Man versus... Homelander, one of my top 10. It was really good, but it was a stomp. I knew who was going to win, and there is that added suspense when I don't know who was going to win. I think that's nice. The animation itself, Devil Artemis cracked on it. Devil Artemis cooked on it, to the point where, like, you couldn't tell the budget was cut. There was no point where I could tell, like, immediately that there was less budget in this. It still looked really good. And then, like, Bardock's arm getting blown off was freaking crazy. I'm glad they brought back the whole stats thing from Goku vs. Superman 3. Which is a stellar episode, even though it was a terrible idea, by the way. I only recently watched Goku vs. Superman 3 because I was kind of just against the whole idea of having Goku vs. Superman 3. I was just against it in general. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Anyway, for the next time, Joker vs. Giorno. I noticed they didn't put the date up for the next time, which is something I expected. And I'm glad they're not trying to force a strict schedule like they were for the past few ones, because they don't have the funding of a major corporation anymore. So with team restraints and budget restraints, it's obvious that they aren't going to be able to get as many out in a short amount of time. But Joker versus Giorno, it's not what I expected to be next. I expected, like, Bowser versus Eggman or Kratos versus Asura to be next. Because, well, it's just... Those are the ones we've already seen. Those are the ones that have been shown to have in-progress animations. So I just thought one of them would be next. But I'm glad. I've never really particularly liked Joker vs. Giorno. Not that I disliked it. It's just... I don't really care about JoJo's or Persona that much. And there are a lot of JoJo versus Persona matches. But, I'm glad for the people that did want it, that are getting it, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Overall, I'm just really glad it's back, man. It's really cool. But, yeah, I think Joker vs. Giorno is going to be sprites, and y'all be good people.